Recording. Yes. So we are discussing about the HANA DB administration. So as part of the administration, first we are discussing about the HANA installations. Okay, SAP HANA installations. So we discussed about the versions 1.0, 2.0, and the difference between the 1.0 and 2.0. So can anyone just jump in like what is the difference between the HANA 1.0 and the different 2.0?
HANA 1.0 is a single container DB.
Okay.
HANA 2.0 is multi-container. Like we can have one system DB and one tenant DB. On top of one default DBs, we can build many tenant DBs.
Right, exactly, correct, excellent. Yes. So HANA 2.0, once again, let me repeat it. So if you guys are unable to understand, if you need some clarification, just drop me in middle of the class. So just I can explain it, okay, so clearly. Okay, suppose in HANA 1.0, that is world, right? Now HANA 2.0, this is the HANA 2.0. So this is our Linux host. On top of this Linux host, what we are doing here, so SAP on top of Linux host, what we are doing here, so we have installed the HANA database, right? On the host, on the Linux server, so on the Linux computer name, on the Linux server, on the Linux system. See here, the names, the synonyms are, so it's the same, all are OS only. So, but the way we are speaking, it's a different words, different synonyms, right? So don't get confused here. Okay, so HANA 2.0, when you are installing the HANA 2.0 database on the one Linux host, then by default you will get the one system DB, one tenant DB you will get. One system DB, one tenant DB you will get, right? By default. So it's kind of apartment concept yesterday we discussed, right? One system DB, one tenant by default you will get. So like the tenants, multiple tenants we can create it. After the installation, multiple tenants we can create it. But is there any limit? Yes, limit. So up to 19 tenants, except the default one. So 19 tenants we can create it. In one host, total 20 tenant database, 19 plus default tenant one and one system DB. System DB is only one, which means ground floor is only one. Like that, ground floor 1, ground floor 2, ground floor 3, like that there is a concept. Maybe there is a concept, but in our case we can ignore the ground floor only one. In that ground floor, so only one, and floors, number of floors we can build it, right? Same as like here also, one system DB, remaining all are the tenant databases. Sir, why they have segregated the system DB, tenant DB? So as part of this HANA 2.0 build, so some services. So this is the, now you are building the house, right? HANA 2.0 installation means, HANA 2.0 installation means you are HANA 2.0 installation means, let me close that door 1 minute. So HANA 2.0 installation build means we are building the one house here in on the earth 150 square hertz. So we are constructing the one house here. Constructing the house means we are building the new HANA system here. So to construct this one, to build the HANA systems, so on HANA 2.0, what we required here. So we need to follow the some software requirements and hardware requirements, right? Why? Because it's a database, business database. All the business data will store in this database, right? All the business data will store in this database. So that's the reason. So when you are installing, when you are building the new HANA system, we have to carefully plan it. Same as like how when you are constructing the house, how you are planning carefully in the basement, strong. So everything, right? Everything you will choose correctly. Same as like here also, when you are building the HANA system, so we need to carefully plan the hardware. So the hardware requirements. So we need to carefully plan the hardware and software requirements, network, CPU, memory, all these things. Hardware things means, so we will get the like operating systems, what type of OS we required, how many CPUs we required, what is the memory, how to calculate the memory. Why? Because HANA is purely so based upon the in-memory concept, which means we need to carefully calculate the, carefully order the, carefully purchase the memory, in memory. So how much memory? So can we predict like 2 GB, 2 GB, 4 GB, so 2 terabyte, 3 terabyte? So based upon the what values, what parameters you are telling, like 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, there is some calculations, right? That calculations we are going to discuss here. And also we need some file systems also we should be required here. And also we should be required like, so network bandwidth also should be important. So these are all called the HANA hardware requirements. HANA hardware requirements. So to install the HANA database, we should be required. So Linux operating system only, Linux OS only. So either the Red Hat Linux or SUSE Linux, these both operating systems are the Red Hat Linux or SUSE Linux, both are the Linux operating system only. So we should be required for the HANA database. So right, OS. So we should not install on the any other OSs like so AX, so some other operating systems, nothing. Only it should be we have to install on the Red Hat Linux or SUSE Linux flavors only. Kind of Linux flavors we have to install it, right? So why? Because that much of 2 terabytes of RAM, 5 terabytes RAM, 10 terabytes RAM, 15 terabytes RAM. So only Linux operating system can only handle it, right? So that's the reason. So that is the reason. So OS SAP recommended to use, SAP dedicated to recommended to use only on the so Linux operating system only. So Linux operating system, right? In the Linux operating systems, so what type of Linux operating systems we have here? So we have SUSE Linux operating system and Red Hat Linux operating systems. If I talk about the Linux operating system, SUSE and Red Hat Linux, SUSE and Red Hat Linux. So coming to the SUSE Linux, what about the versions in Windows? Suppose we know, we can simply tell like Red Hat Linux, we can install it. We can simply tell like, so my operating system is the Windows, but Windows which version? Windows 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or 11 or 12, which one? Version. There is a version, right? Which version? They may ask you questions, right? So when someone asks you question, so what is the your operating system you are using? Which means simply you tell like, so Windows. But again, he may ask you one more question, what is the OS version, right? So when someone asks you question, you have to clearly answer like Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 12, 13, 14, something like that we have to answer, right? Same way, in the Linux operating systems, what are the OS operating systems we have, and also what are their versions, right? As a basis consultant, we should know the version of the operating system. Even it's not part of our scope, OS version, OS installations and everything, but we should be aware of the versions also, right? Why? Because when you are doing the HANA installation, the versions of the HANA very important here. Versions of the operating system is very important. If I talk about the SUSE Linux version, here we have the SUSE Linux 15 are available currently in that SPS 01, so SP 02, not the SPS support pack 01, 02, then SP 03, then SP 04. So these are the versions are available. This is the latest one, right? These are the versions are available. So initially in the 15, they have released the SP 01. After that, there are some bugs and fixes, and there are the new enhancements. Everybody knows here in the team. So why they are releasing the any version in the mobile also, we will get the updates, Android OS updates, Windows updates, Windows version updates. So everything everyone we will get it out. Why? Because in the existing version, if we have any bugs, any new improvements, new enhancements, they will release the new patch that they will change the version to the SP02. Then again, they will change the version to SP03. Then bugs they will fix it and they will delete in the SP04 version, SP04 version. That's why they will start releasing it here in the mobile phones, apps every day, every week. The apps are getting updated, right? Why? Because in existing version, if you have some bugs, maybe if they have the latest features, so maybe that they will fix in the latest version, that they will fix in the latest versions. So that's the reason they will start releasing the version, same as like in the operating systems also, like Windows 10, Windows 11, 7, 8, something like that, right? Here also. So before that we have the SUSE Linux 15. So just 15, just SLES, and 12 also we have 12. So then in 12 also we have SP01, 02, 03, and 04 are available. Then after that they have directly go to the SPS 15, SLES 15, SPS 01, 2, 3, 4, right? So when you are installing the new HANA database, always the OS and OS version should be the latest versions. OS version would be the latest version should be required here. Then what about the Red Hat Linux? Red Hat Linux also we have, so currently 11, but it is not certified, I guess. Currently we have the 10, 10.1, 10.2, 10.3. Before that we have the 9, then 08, then 07. So 07 still not supporting, I guess. 08, 9, 10, Red Hat Linux 10, 8, 9, 10 are the versions we have. So our OS also same. So we are using the Red Hat Linux for our HANA installation, our day-to-day practices purpose. We are using the Red Hat Linux. We are using it here, right? So that is the operating systems concept, the versions and everything here, right? So the coming to the CPU, coming to the memory. So how to calculate the CPUs and memory and file systems? How to calculate it? Will you calculate by your own? No. What there is a formula for calculating the memory. Normally, every organization we have the architects or client team or on-site team. They will perform these calculations and everything in the systems, right? Suppose if you are the architect, you got the chance to work on that one. Then in this case, how to do that, this memory calculations and CPU calculations, right? If you have the more experience, more than 20 years, 15 years experience in the IT industry, SAP basis, then you got a chance to perform the calculations of this one. In this case, how to do these calculations and everything, right? So in this case, we need SAP provided the one tool for us, that is called the SAP Fixer tool. SAP Fixer tool. This is the web-based tool, SAP Fixer tool. SAP Fixer tool is the tool which we can use it to calculate the CPU, right? Memory, network, so IO input output. So all these things we can use it, CPU, for the especially for the HANA-DB administration, right? SAP Fixer tool. Using the Fixer tool, we can get the all the information. Okay. So and also we have the some formula based tiling also, formula based calculation also. We have the some formulas based calculation. So and also we have the during the installations we have the two types of installation. Nowadays three types of installations. Like one is the greenfield implementation, greenfield. The next one is the blue greenfield, brownfield, black field. So there are the types of implementation methodologies are there, right? Greenfield means so fresh installation. So if you are doing the new installation, new HANA database, then we have we can use the tick sizer or formula based calculations or t-shirt sizing based calculations to calculate the memory and CPU. So if it's the brownfield means we have the migrations. You have already in the existing database, that is in the SQL server. You want to go for the HANA database, then how to calculate the size. This has the 1.5 terabyte data. Then how it will comes to the in the HANA, it will decompressed. It will be compressed, not the decompressed. It will be apply the compression mechanism. When the data copy from source to target, the data will be compressed here. Then in that case, how to calculate the so the RAM size? Why? Because all the data will sitting in so RAM memory only in the HANA database. Here in the disk layer it is sitting. When it comes to the here in the RAM level it is sitting. Then how to calculate the RAM formulas here? So based upon the formula DB scripts, we can use it to calculate this one. So if it is the fresh installation, same as like now how we are doing the fresh installation. So for that one, we can use the quick sizer tool or t-shirt based sizing, t-shirt based sizing. T-shirt sized based t-shirt sizing means, let me tell you t-shirt sizing, which means, so how is our t-shirt sizing? Like we have the so small, medium, large, extra large, something like that, right? So small means minimum for small size companies. For the t-shirt sizing means, suppose you are implementing for, you are installing the new HANA database, fresh HANA database for the one of the small company, small business. That case, we can use the 128 GB, 128 GB RAM size. So if you are using the medium size company, medium size company, you can take the 256 GB RAM, right? If you are doing for the large company, that is called the 512 GB RAM for the this one. So extra large minimum recommendations. It's like 1 terabyte you required, 1 TB you required for the RAM size for the large size companies, This is the t-shirt sizing method. So you are not sure, you are unsure about the, so your quick sizer sized based formula, it is not giving the exact results. Then in this case, you are doing the fresh installation. Then based upon the t-shirt sizing method, which means small company. So then when you are when the customer asked you to do the SAP build, SAP installation on your so server, then immediately we need to ask them is like, so what is the approach we have to follow? T-shirt sizing approach or fixed sizer formula based sizing, which approach? If they told t-shirt sizing means, we have to ask like, what is our company size here? What is the company size here? So medium or low, have very high priority, small size. So what is the company size here? So suppose when you go to anything, the company size will decide based upon the employees, right? Suppose if 0 to 500 employees, there is a small size company, right? 501 to 1000, then there is a medium size company. Like that, the company size will be decided, depends upon the number of employees and everything, right? Same as like here, the data flow, the data storage is based on that. Here, the sizing will be declared here, sizing will be decided here, right? So normally, so based upon the quick sizer tool, or here, this one we will use it for the, so to do the so sizing here. So let's start quick sizer tool. No, let's do the sizing. Sizing is the very important here for the HANA database, right? We have to use the quick sizer tool for the so HANA memory CPU benchmark tool. This is, we will call it as the quick sizer tool. So this means using this tool, we can decide, which can decide the so CPU, memory, CPU, disk space, IO, network, all these things we can decide using the this size method. The sizing method, we can decide everything here. So for this one, so you have the some options. You can see what is mean by quick sizer tool, what you can, so what you can achieve it by size by doing the quick sizer tool sizing, right? So you can get the memory, how much memory, how many CPUs, how much disk space. So all these things you can get it from here, right? So and also, so if you go to the that calculation of the quick sizer tool, then HANA based quick sizer tool. Just if you click on the HANA based quick sizer tool, it will give the options to us, like it will ask us to provide the inputs. So then we have to provide the inputs saying that, so this is the data flow. So this is the functional flow. This is the object size for 3 years, 5 years, like that. We need to do the some calculations of the systems here. Some calculations here. We have to do the some calculations here, right? So for that one, let me. So here we can use the S user ID for our S user ID, own S user ID. We have to use it. Then we can calculate the so sizing. We have to provide the inputs and we will get the say how much RAM we have to use it. We will get the report, that one, right? That is the quick sizer tool. T-shirt sizing means, so immediately we will get the RAM size, how much RAM size. So based upon the RAM size, we will get the, based upon the RAM size, we will get the how many CPUs we have to use it. Why? Because based upon the RAM memory only, we will come to know how many CPUs we required. So how much RAM memory, like based upon the RAM and the memory, right? What are the disk space and the file system sizes? What are the file systems? Everything we will get based upon the RAM size, right? So suppose your RAM size is Suppose you got the RAM size is like 256 GB, you require RAM size. Suppose for your business small customer, you require the 256 GB customer. So in this case, so what, how to calculate the CPUs here, right? So one physical CPU, one PCPU will handle the, one physical CPU will handle the 14 to 16 GB of RAM memory, 14 to RAM memory. Suppose if the two physical CPUs, then we'll handle the, so 14 into 4, 14 into 14, like 28 GB will handle it. Like that, we have the 256 GB RAM, then 256 GB by 14, how many CPUs we will get? Then in this case, we need to remember the, so 14th, 14th letter, 14th in
18.
mathematics, right? So in 256 by 14, right? So that mathematics, we have to do that one. So 256 by divided by 14, then we will get the 18 CPUs, right? 18 CPUs, we will get it from here. Then, so one socket, then, so each CPU, there is a scores, then socket, cores. So there is a calculation formula. Don't get confused. Just remember, we need 18 CPUs. Because, so there is a motherboard, so as well CPUs. So there is a, so Intel as well CPUs we required. So then we have the many hardware vendors are there, hardware procurement vendors are there, like HP, Intel, so Dell. So we have the Fujitsu. So number of hardware vendors are there, right? To procure the hardware from them. Hardware means the motherboards, right? CPUs, then memory, RAM. So all these things, right? So we can procure from them. But here we have to certified hardware vendors only. We have to procure the HANA hardware. When you are installing the hardware means it should be certified. It should be the certified hardware vendors only. We have to get that one, right? So now we got the RAM size. Now we got the CPUs also. How many CPUs you required means 18 CPUs you required for the 256 GB RAM. Suppose this is the calculation of the so virtual calculation of the physical CPUs. If I go to cloud level, we have the vCPU concept, means virtual CPUs concept. So two virtual CPUs equal to two vCPUs equals to one physical CPUs. So there is a cloud-based concept actually. Amazon, AWS, right? AWS means Amazon, then Azure and Google and Heck. These are the cloud partners. So instead of on-premises your data center, you can just purchase the license from the AWS and they will give the hardware to you. Then we can just provision the instances using those hardwares. Then we can use it, right? So vCPUs. So we have the two virtuals, one physical, one virtual CPU is equal to, so one physical CPU equals to two virtual CPUs means, so virtual CPUs, one physical CPU, they were divided into the two virtual CPUs. So if the physical, that this is the calculation formula. So if it is the, so cloud-based platforms, then one virtual CPU, one CPU will handle the 7 GB of main memory, 7 GB of RAM. So then two CPUs, then in this case 14 GB. Then how many? Then we need 36 CPUs we required for the, in the cloud-based. In the cloud-based, we need the 36 CPUs we required. This is the way we need to do the calculations. This is the way we need to perform the calculations of the your so systems, HANA systems, RAM calculations, CPU calculations. That's why here the architects will be involved during the initial discussions of the how much CPU memory required here, right? But here to know some information about this one, so we are discussing about the some information about the sizing, quick sizer tool, formula based telling how many CPUs required, how many file systems are required. All these things we are discussing in the file system concept, right? So here physical file systems. So we got the RAM, how much RAM we required, CPUs we got it, so RAM we required, RAM we got it, CPUs we got it, memory we got it. So then file systems, how many file systems we required here? How many file systems? As per SAP recommendations, we should have the 5 types of file systems we required. It's a mandatory, guarantee, important questions during the interview point of time. What are the 5 types of file systems we required here? So USR SAP /HANA data /HANA log, then /HANA shared /HANA shared. These are the file systems. These are the 5 types of file systems are required for to install the HANA database here. These are the mandatory file systems you should be required. Not only separate mount points, this one, there is a space, how much space we required. Sir, you mentioned like HANA is the in-memory concept. Every data will be stored into the RAM memory. Then why we have the file system concept in the, again, HANA database, right? Yesterday, as we speak yesterday, HANA RAM is the volatile memory. We cannot trust always. We cannot rely on the RAM. So suppose something is happened, all the data will be gone, right? So that's the reason one copy of data will be stored into the file system level also. That's why we need to carefully plan the file system requirements also. So these are the HANA recommended file systems. It should be in the separate mount points. So apart from that, we need OS level like /temp, so /var, so /log, then swap. So many this OS recommended file systems also should be required, but HANA related, these are the mandatory file systems. You should be in the separate mount points, right? Correct. So how much space you required each file system? File system means in a Windows level, you have the data folder, log folder, some C drive, D drive, right? Same as like here also we have the file system, C drive, D drive, how we have the space and everything. Same also here we have the, so in the Linux level, we have the root, usrscp, /HANA data, /HANA log. These are the, so file systems are there in the HANA DB, right? So root, the recommended file system space minimum should be the 10 GB we required root. USRSAP 50 GB is required. So it's not my own calculations, not my own. I'm not telling like it's my own calculations. Like it's the recommended SAP standard books is telling like USRSAP is the 50 GB, root is the 10 GB, and so HANA is the 3 into RAM size. 3 into RAM size we required. And so /HANA log is the half by 2 of the RAM size, means 0.5 into RAM size. The RAM size is the 512 GB. You need the, so RAM size is the, so 256 GB. Then you need a log folder space is minimum, so 256, like 128 GB you required. So here 128 GB into 3 times of 128 GB here it required, right? /HANA data 1 into RAM size you required, 1 into RAM size you required, or maximum you can go for the 1 terabyte of data size of this one, right? So this var temp automatically Linux, when you are doing the installation, it will take care of automatically. You no need to worry about that one. But these are the recommended file systems and recommended space for the each of the file systems. This calculation is the very important here, right? So here root USRSAP, it's a dedicated, but when you go to the /HANA, that's all, can I take the 60 GB? Yeah, you can take the 60 GB or 1 terabyte also, you can give to the USRSAP. But it should be minimum 50 GB. It should be minimum 50 GB you required here. Minimum 50 GB you required here. So root 10 GB you required here. /HANA data 3 into RAM size you required here, right? So this much of so recommendation 3 into RAM size means 3 into, suppose your RAM size is the 1 terabyte data you got it, then 1 terabyte by 14 GB, how many CPUs? Then 3 into 1 terabyte. Like you need 3 terabyte size for the data file system. Here /HANA log is for the 0.5 into RAM size. So our maximum 512 GB can give for the log folder. Why? Because so log folders will be archived every 15 minutes. So it will not be the big size here. So you can go for the maximum. So 512 GB, that is well enough here for the log folder space, right? It should be in the separate mount points, like 3 into RAM size, maximum 512 GB, maximum 1 terabyte you can give it. These are the recommended file systems for the HANA database. So network, if I talk about the network, we know if the network speed is very fast, then you can easily get the data from the HANA database. So network factor also can cause the sometimes slowness. So SAP recommended 1 Gbps, 1 gigabyte per second. So 1 per second, 1 gigabyte net speed is required. File systems, memory, CPU, OS. So these all are comes under the hardware requirement. Hardware requirement. Why? Because why we are carefully planning this much of space memory for the HANA database means HANA is the combination of the software and hardware requirements. So it's the appliance. HANA is the appliance. HANA is the appliance, one of the in-memory appliance. So we need to plan carefully. Once you install the HANA, once the business is go live, then you cannot. So up to next 3 years, 4 years, there should not be any space issue, memory issues in the HANA database. Why? Because it should be. So why? Because you done the newly implemented. Then there should not be any issues in the HANA systems, right? That's why when you are planning this type of things, you need to plan carefully. You need to plan that carefully on the these installations and so hardware requirements and software requirements, right? So let me pause it here. So any questions from anyone?
Sir, number of cores required for
So it depends upon the number of cores means it depends like a CPU cores, right? CPU cores you require the depends upon the memory, RAM memory. Once you got the RAM memory, how much RAM is required, then you will get the file systems, you will get the how many CPUs you require, you will get the CPUs and file systems. So the first RAM size estimation is very important. Then after that automatically you will get the file systems and CPU. Okay.
In HANA/log, hello.
Yes, yes.
In HANA/log, it is RAM values. For example, RAM value is 256. What is the value? 1/2 of the RAM or 0.5 into RAM?
That's 0.1/2, 1/2, 0.half by 2 of the RAM means 0.5, right? Or maybe we can put this way like half by 2 of the RAM size. So minimum half by 2 of RAM size. Maybe 0.5 I'll put it. If it's the wrong, maybe you can put like 0. So half part. The RAM size is the 1 terabyte. You need the 512 GB. So 1 terabyte, you need the 512 GB log space. Log directory space is required for this one. What is SLES 15? SLES is the OS version. SLES means SUSE, Linux, E means enterprise, S means server. Okay, SUSE Linux. Now normally we will get the /15/16. Now otherwise just SLES 15. 15 is the version number. But don't ask me like what is mean by Red Hat Linux. What is mean by Red Hat full form? I don't know what is mean by Red Hat full form, but Red Hat Linux, simple. SLES, I know SLES means SUSE Linux Enterprise Server, but Red Hat means what is R, what is E, what is D means I don't know. Maybe you can search it out in the Google and let me know. Okay, if something is there, there is a meaning of the Red Hat Linux. But SUSE Linux means SLES means Linux Enterprise Server. Okay, so now we have the CPUs, hardware, softwares, everything is ready. Then what next? So HANA installations, right? We have to build the HANA systems. To log into the HANA systems, so what we required here? So it's not like that Windows to log into the HANA systems, right? It's not like that HANA systems we need to do first go to the, so putty is the tool actually to connect to the your Linux operating systems, putty, right? Anyone having the knowledge on the Linux operating systems here? The basic Unix knowledge here. Why? Because HANA we have to install on the Linux operating systems. So here we require some basics knowledge on the Linux operating system. Right? Let's walk through about some basic commands in the Linux operating systems. How to log in, then how to everyone aware of Linux, or few people are only aware of Linux operating system. Some basic commands.
I know basic.
That's fine.
I know.
Okay, good, super. What about others?
I know basic commands.
I know.
Fine, right? You all are fine with the Linux operating systems, right? Just basic commands. I'm not like
No, don't know in
okay.
Linux.
Yes, then in this case, okay, we'll start some basics here. Our guys also will inform. So don't worry. Who don't know, don't worry. Okay, don't worry about the Linux commands. Why? Because we'll go the small things here, small Linux commands. Okay, so to log into the Linux operating system, you need to use the putty. So putty is available in all our desktops. The putty tool is available here, right? The putty tool is available all your desktops. The putty tool is available here. Our Linux operating system is like SAP Linux 1, right? SAP Linux 1 is our operating system. Linux 1 is our operating system. Or so we have the one more operating system is available, that is the SAP HANA. These are the two operating systems we have. Just you need to log into the my jump server. So then you have to just execute the SAP Linux 1, just enter. Then it will ask the login as, because putty only we have to use it for this one, right? So without the Windows, we can directly jump in MSDSC, we can log in, right? Here, so login as means you need to type the root user. So I will provide the root user password as well directly. Okay, no need to worry. So here, just to password. So password means just you can type the password in your keyboard, but that will not be show here. That will be hidden status here, right? It will not show here. Just once you type it, just click on the enter button. That is connected, right? You got the prompt screen. You got the prompt screen in the Linux, right? So here, some of the basic commands here. Few basic commands we should be aware of here in the Linux side. So what are those basic commands here, right? So suppose if you type the date command, the date will be displayed here. If you type the uptime means uptime will be displayed here. From what time onwards the system is uptime here, right? So the uptime will be displayed here, right? Then after that what? After that, so then we have the actual commands like, so cd, suppose you want to see the file system status. Suppose you want to know the file system, how many file systems are there in our server, so you want to know. So in this case, you need to use the some basic Linux commands, right? So I will share the document as well, so don't worry. Basic Linux commands, right? So login procedure, then everything. Then so df command, display file systems, right? It will display the file systems. This will display the file systems. You can see here. So df space -h. If you use this, enter it, then what are the file systems are available? Suppose like in Windows, just if you open it, just click on this PC, you will see the list of file systems, like list of drives, devices, what is the free space, what is the used one, all the information you got it, right? When you use this one. But Linux is not like, so it's not, it's we have to operate the Linux through commands only, right? Not the mouse, left click, right click, not like that. But in the Linux, we have to operate through commands only, we have to operate it. So here I used the df-h command. Df means display file system. F-h means order-wise it will be displayed. Order-wise and modifications wise, the thing will be displayed here. df-h, which means on order-wise, so it will be displayed. So as we speak, as we discussed, we have the root file system, usr sap /ana data under the /ana log. So file systems are available, /ana data, /ana log, other file systems also available under the, these all are the file systems we have in the systems in the HANA database. These all are the file systems are available here. These all are the file systems are available, right? So we have meet the file system requirements and free -G to get the how much RAM we required. So we have the 39 GB, almost 40 GB RAM is there. So I can still increase it to the up to 128 GB, like I can increase it. So not a problem. So you can use till one how much RAM is required we have. So then that is the free -G. G means in the GB level, free -G. So GB level, you will get the memory status, memory usage status, right? Or you can use the top command or you can use the ls cpu command to get the, so what is the CPU family we have? LS CPU. LS CPU means what is our architecture, then what is our CPU model, how many CPUs are there, 6 CPUs are there. So how many threads per CPU, so how many sockets for 6 CPU, it automatically it will be displayed here. Like our CPU or vendor is the Intel. We are using the Intel hardware here, right? So we can see here CPU. Or if you use the top command, we will get the current CPU utilization and memory utilization in the systems. What are the current CPU utilization, memory utilization, or live utilization, raw utilization? It will be CPU here. See here how much CPU percentage it is using, what is the process ID, what is the user it is using, so how much memory. So all these things will be displayed here. All these things will be displayed here. See here, it is displaying here. All this will be displayed. How much memory. So what is everything will be displayed. To come out of the screen, just click on the control here, C, cancel, right? So how many CPUs are working? See here, CPU is up, CPU is up, CPU is up. So here is one more CPU. Yes, CPU is up, 0, 1, 2, 3. So 3 CPUs are live here, 4 CPUs are live here. So CPUs are working here, right? So these are the way we can check the CPUs, memory, and file systems. It's the main, right? These are the main. So after that, suppose you want to jump into the any one of the file system in Windows, what you can do here, just to double click it, you will go to double click it, you will go to double click it, right? You will click on the double click, you will click on the double click, you will click on the double click, like that you will go to the one folder to another folder and everything. But here, if you double click it, nothing will happen. Why? Because it's a Linux. What you have to do, if you want to change the directory to other folder, you need to use the CD. CD means change directory. Then just use the, suppose I want to go to the HANA, /HANA. Definitely you need to enter the slash, right? So in Windows, that is the forward slash. So now Linux, this is the, so backward slash. You can see here, in Windows, when you go to the each and every folder, so there is a slash. So this side, right? Sleeping one, sleeping slash, right? It is the, when it is going to the here, it is the different way, different model, right? So that is the difference between the Windows and the Linux, right? Here entire commands we have to use it for the to operate the Linux operating systems, right? CD/HANA. Then click on the enter button, all are small. Then you are in the HANA folder. You want to see what's there inside of this HANA folder and what's not there inside of the folder. You want to list it out. Then you can use the list, right? ls command. So it's here, nothing is there. Just if you can use the ls-ltr. So nothing is there here. LTR means just you can, so ascending order, descending order, you are pulling the data here. Suppose you want to go to the other drive, then CD/media. There is a media folder, ls-ltr. Then you will see the what are the files and folders are there here. So then we have the HANA files. If you want just to go to the CD, then ls-ltr. Then go to the, so wherever you want to go, then directly jump into the that server. Directly you can jump into the that server, that folder, then you can use it, right? This is the USR. So this is the way we can go that one. So PWD, present working directory, which means we can directly see the where you are currently, in which directory currently you are in, right? You want to come out of this screen, server folder. You want to go to the only this folder, like this one. You want to go to the this 59 folder, then CD space // one folder back. So CD // one folder back again. CD // so one folder back again. You want to come back, you need to use the // We want to go to the next page, CD/media. Then you are in the media folder. So ls-ltr, just you are in the LTR. So this is the commands like CD ls-ltr, CD .. change directory, PWD, present working directory, like that. So we have some other commands like, suppose we want to create the file. So are you guys are getting the who don't know Linux commands? Are you getting the new? Are you trying to understand, Chandra and Jagadish?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so if you're trying to understand, so that is fine. If you need some help on the logging to that one, let me know. I can stop it here. Then you guys try to just log in and try to execute the few commands. That will be very enough. Otherwise, So here Ram or someone, they will guide you. So how to log into the Linux and how to execute the few commands. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Okay, thanks, man. So like that, so you like that, just basics only. That basic commands I'm giving you. Later, when we are starting working on the HANA DB, once you got the basics, then we have the other commands also that I don't disclose now. So I will discuss with you later. Like, so these are the basic commands. Suppose few more commands, like sometimes you will get a requirement to create the file or folder, right? In that case, to create the folder, you need to use the mkdir, make directory. Suppose you want to create the Ravi folder, just to create the mkdir space Ravi. Then you can see ls-ltr, you see the Ravi folder here. You want to go inside of the Ravi folder, then just to you double click it, that will be copied, then come to the here, then right click it, that will be pasted here, right? So then execute it. You want to see previously executed command in your keyboard, just top pipe up arrow, what are the previous commands you executed, that will be displayed here, what are the previous commands and for last commands used, that will be displayed here, right? So that is the cd command, right? Then when you go to the here, then you want to create a folder, you created mkdir space Ravi, right? Then you want to create the file means you can use the touch command, touch touch. Suppose, so example.txt file I created, right? Text file, just Windows, we know it's very simple. Windows everybody knows, even so everybody can do that one. Windows, right? Right click, so create the folder, create the file, you can create it. But it's a Linux commands, you have to use it, right? These are the commands you have to use it. Touch for the file creation, then mkdir is for the folder creation for the mkdir, you have to use it. Suppose, okay, vi command is there to add the entries into the file, that I will not discuss now because you will get confused again. So only basic commands, simple commands I'm giving to you. And any other things, what other commands we have?
Which user?
sh
Yeah,
to check the memory of the file and
uh,
du space -sh.
sh, right? sgr sh. Yes, how much space? Yeah,
Hmm.
memory. This is the folder size checking. Or du-sg also something, not sg. Yeah, I think, yeah, sh only. So this is like, so the checking the space out of the each and every the folder size. We were in the one folder, just if you execute this one, what is the size? These are the size. You can see here, if you go to the df-h command, so here, what is the total size here? What is the used here? What is the availability here? How much? What is the percentage here? Right? You got all the details here, right? So if you go to the history, suppose history command, what are the commands you executed till now? What are the commands? It will give the history of your user, all the users. So what command you executed, what is everything you will see here. So if you go to the last command, so when you go, it will give all the information. It will give all the information. Last command today. So it is fine. But today morning, so 9/7/25, system got rebooted with each user system reboot. This way we can find out who rebooted the system, who done what, last command, right? What IP they have logged into the system. So then yesterday, then when it was the last reboot happened. So all the information, 9th, so and 7th. So then what time, all the information we can get from here in the last command, right? So that is the history. History means, so just history of the what our previous commands you executed, all the information you will get it out. So still we have chmod, chown. So many commands are there, but here few people are new, right? So Chandra and so who are the new, so that I will maybe these guys will take care of one class maybe today, maybe sometime. So they will take you, because these are also so experts in the Linux, maybe they can take you. Okay, but because these guys are knows, so you can just practice it. Chandra and Jagadish, you two guys are new, right? Just try to practice. So try to practice it, logging in and practice it. If I tell all the commands in now, you will get confused, right? I'm not going to discuss everything now. Just try to log in to Linux today. Execute the some basic commands. Let's see how you are in. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we will allow these guys to just to concentrate on the Linux side today. Then tomorrow we'll directly start the installation. So if meanwhile anyone is free, maybe they will practice now after 1 or 2 hours. So evening hours, afternoon hours, we ping Chandra in our team, in our group message, so that if they are available, anyone, they can guide you remaining comments. So that tomorrow,
Okay.
tomorrow we all are in the same page. Like you also should know that some of the comments, so that all these guys are knows, they will get some bore feeling now, right? So what you can do, you can practice it today.